All right, now, we don't do this often because it's radio. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but I do think that the Longhorns are deserving of a standing ovation. So I'm going to give it to them. There you go.
Get on up, Rod.
Standing up, baby.
Stand up on the
There
Twitch.
you go. I mean, I know you can't see it on Twitch, probably looking at our crotch right now, but in radio, sometimes you got to give it up. And I'm glad to eat the crow. I didn't pick the Longhorns to win, but I enjoyed that victory as much as anybody. That was a great victory for Texas for a lot of reasons. I'm trying to think of the last time Texas had a win that was that satisfying for Longhorn fans. And honestly, if you're talking about just satisfaction, I don't think they've had a more satisfying win than that since the national title game.
Oh, man.
Satisfaction. I'm talking about it's satisfying because it exercised so many demons. I mean, the downward spiral of Texas football started with Bama.
Yeah.
It started with their ascent. Your descent started with their ascent. Like, it literally goes all the way back there symbolically. This was, like I said, to me, it seemed like there was almost an exorcism. This was cathartic for Longhorn fans. Right? It was
a good word. It's a good word.
Right? It was cathartic because for so many, we talk about the Kool-Aid all the time, drinking the Kool-Aid. Is it Kool-Aid or is it Flavor Aid? Right? Every year we got to answer that question. Last year, we thought we were drinking the Kool-Aid. Texas Tech beat you and you go, damn, it's not Kool-Aid. It's Flavor Aid. It's not the Kool-Aid we thought it was. Because the Kool-Aid, the point of the Kool-Aid is, the Kool-Aid, if you're drinking the Kool-Aid, you believe it's possible for that team, all right, to reach the ultimate level of expectation and to meet the standard of Texas football. The standard is really high, right? The standard is double-digit wins and competing for championships. And the expectations usually are pretty high, too. Sometimes the standard meets the expectation. This is one of those seasons. And for Texas fans, there is no better and more impressive place to win in college football than in Tuscaloosa.
No place harder.
No place harder. You can't beat Nick Saban's team without talent. You know they're one of the more talented teams in the country. Now, are they the Bamas of old that we're accustomed to seeing that's got first-round picks all throughout the offense and defense? I don't know if they're that Bama team. Not this year. Texas ain't the only loss that Bama's got on the schedule. They're going to have another one. Maybe a couple of more, actually, on that schedule. But I think it was cathartic for Texas and satisfying because that's the toughest place to play in the country, toughest place to go win in the country. Texas fans hadn't seen this team go win a game like that in the fourth quarter, and they had to go take it in the fourth quarter. And Quinn Ewers had his butterfly moment where he went from caterpillar to butterfly right before our very eyes on the big stage versus Alabama. It was, even for Sark, it was an exorcism of sorts because you're exercising all those demons. For Texas, the redemption of Texas and Sark, to me, they are linked, right? They are connected, and that's why I loved it, because I think, and rather, redemption of Texas football. We're trying to bring back the Texas football brand. It needs to be feared and respected and not mocked and ridiculed. And after that win, you demanded fear and respect out of your peers and out of the college football fandom. And you weren't mocked and ridiculed like Texas has been over the last decade plus. That's why I think it was more satisfying, just as satisfying, or maybe
it's a good word, satisfied.
You know what I mean? More satisfying than any other win, except for the, since the 2005 national title game.
Well, and you just have to everything we talked about. This wasn't as good of an Alabama team. It was a really talented Texas team. They had the players to do it. They did it. And but because this is one of those. Somebody said the Columbus win at Ohio State in 2005 was like this. It's true, but you know what? That win in Columbus, I was on the sidelines for that game. It culminated with a national championship, and I don't know if this team is going there, but that win allows you to dream big, right? It changes your mindset of, okay, we wanted to win the Big 12 championship in our final. Well, now you want to do both, and now with that win on the road, you're a college football playoff team. If you handle your business, because three of the previous 5 quarterbacks to beat Nick Saban in T-Town won the Heisman Trophy. Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, and Joe Burrow. 2 won a national championship, and here's the key now. And I know you said this earlier, Rod, that you can't play to that level every week because you had a month to prepare for that game.
You can play at that level, but it's hard to prepare
at that level
and game plan for that
right.
level.
Now becomes the challenge for Sark. Can they do it week in, week out? Can they? That's the bar now, right? Mm-hmm. can they keep it there? And a special season develops, not just a huge win, a huge satisfying win. That becomes the challenge for Sark. And guess what? That win included checking a lot of boxes, but it also included a lot of things they can still coach through, Rod.
Yeah.
This week, there's a lot to coach on in that game.
It's not a perfect game.
Wasn't a perfect game.
It was not a perfect game. Actually, I went back and watched it, and it actually had Texas made a lot of mistakes in that game, especially early on. That's the beauty of it, right? They found a way to finish in spite of them not playing a perfect game, Alabama coming back to take the lead late in the game, facing adversity in the fourth quarter. My favorite part of the rewatch, I'm going to go back and watch it again because I'm going to go watch the line play specifically next time I go back and rewatch it. But I watched a lot of the players that we gave props to, that we gave flowers to for having phenomenal performances versus Bama and Tuscaloosa, face adversity early on in that game, and it did not psychologically deter them, right? It didn't distract them from their ultimate mission. X-Man had to drop early on, and Longhorn fans thinking, X-Man with a drop. Could have been a touchdown. And you know the negativity, I'm sure the vitriol coming out for X-Man, because that reminded Longhorn fans of last season. The regression. There go X-Man. Okay, here we go again. Jalen Catalon, but then, of course, X-Man bounces back, catches the deep touchdown pass, and we know it ends up becoming one of the heroes of that game. Jalen Catalon missed a big tackle early on Jalen Muro in the open field, and it was a highlight play for Jalen Muro. Everybody got hype about it, and it was not foreshadowing. It was not an omen of other things to come. Jalen Catalon led the team in tackles because after that, he got his, and that was early on. I think it was like the first or second drive. He got his mind right, and then he refocused, right? Ethan Burke, I saw him miss a play early on and lose contain on Jalen Muro. I didn't see it after that. Right? I saw it that one time, and then I didn't see it after that. After that, Ethan Burke became potentially a defensive player of the game. He was in that conversation. Jade Barron, he had a blitz early on, I think it was on first down. He loses contain on the edge. Jalen Muro gets a first down, like a 10-yard gain, and everybody's thinking, oh, man, Jalen Muro, he's about to get it going with his legs, and that didn't happen again. Jade Barron, he bounced back, got an interception literally that same drive. Gets an interception a couple of plays later. A.D. Mitchell, remember, he had the fumble early on the reverse. Put the ball on the ground. I'm thinking to myself, oh, man, that is not good. A.D. Mitchell comes back, ends up with 2 touchdowns in the game. We also remember JT had the fumble. It was an incompletion, but it was one of those plays that could have been a fumble, an incompletion. He bounces back over 100 yards receiving in that game. You had the Jaron Thompson deep ball that he gave up, the touchdown, comes back. Couple of series later, gets the interception that damn near seals the game. I saw Anthony Hill, young buck, went up with 2 sacks in the game, lose contain as the spy. And he basically came up the field too much, and then basically didn't squeeze the edge and allowed Jalen Muro to escape out of the pocket. I saw it once, didn't see it again. That means he went to the sideline, coaches coached it up, he understood it, took the coaching, and boom, ended up having a great game. There were so many of those stories that I saw early on, guys make a mistake or have an error, just a bad play, and bounce back. And that's what this team showed me, that when they face adversity, they got the bounce back factor. They got the respond factor. You're going to face adversity. Everybody does. Football is just like life, all right? You're going to fall. You're going to fall down over and over again, right? The failing is not falling down. The failure is in not getting up, right? That's the failures, all right? Success. Failure is not final, all right? Failure is not fatal. You can fail and then you come bounce right back. And that's what this team showed me individually when I watched a lot of the players, but I seen it as a team too, that when they got down, Alabama came to take the lead late in that game in the fourth quarter. You talked about it, took these guys, 3-4 plays to respond late in the game.
14 points in 15 seconds.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like that's
4-play drive for touchdown, pick,
response.
touchdown.
Yes.
And that is a bounce back.